takedown model is a shoe that takes the DNA from a flagship sneaker and targets a slightly different consumer, more budget-friendly, more affordable, but it oftentimes doesn't mean it's trash or it's not as good. When I was still working in the sneaker industry, these takedown models that kind of go after a wider net of consumers, they were always like a lifesaver. When things weren't going well, or the economy was into recession, you always depended on these type of takedown models to grab more revenue. They don't have as high of margins than like a flagship sneaker, but they do have volume and they're pretty reliable in terms of sales. Now, back in the day, we had like the Jumpman Team 2 that obviously mimics the Jordan 13. Did not really like that shoe that much. But we also had the Air Thrill that took DNA from the Air Zoom 95. And now we have the first takedown model of the most popular shoe from Jordan Brand right now. Air Jordan 4 RM Black and Light Bone. Now, the shoe is dropping on August 21st for $150 in the United States. And RM, I initially, when the shoe first got announced, I thought it was remastered, but apparently stands for Resto Mod. Whichever word you want to use, it totally works. Nigel Sylvester is the first person to officially launch this shoe with his colorway. And first impressions of the shoe, I actually don't mind it. A lot of takedown models does seem kind of awkward. This one obviously is inspired by the Jordan 4, but I feel like standalone, it looks pretty nice. Now, I wonder if it would look better without this caging around, but I'm not a designer, and you know what happens when a non-designer imagines like a design. It often turns out to look like trash, so maybe with the caging it looks better, but I do wonder how it would look without it. But overall, I think this is a nice looking shoe. Official colors for the shoe is black, light bone, and dark gray. I think it works really well together. It's not like white and black with some random bits of sail. Yeah, I have no complaints in terms of this colorway. There are a bunch of GR colorways, and this being one of them. And I think out of all the general release colorways that have been shown so far, this is one of the best. The Black Cat is pretty nice as well. All black shoe. But this, yeah, this is up there in terms of the general releases. And I'm just gonna say this up front. This is one of those shoes where even if you like images of this shoe, on feet, I think they even look better. They really do. And the upper of the shoe, it is leather on the toe box. And the leather, when you press down, you don't really see the natural grain of the leather, like the natural wrinkles. It's also got that shiny coating all over it. And it does feel very thin. But one good thing about that is it's very soft. So break-in time is probably minimal in the toe box area. And then right around the mudguard, you have suede. And the suede is decent. It's not like the best suede or anything. I wish this suede is a little bit more plush. But it's pretty regular suede. At least it's not like that trash suede, that trash synthetic suede that you get on like MX1s. And there's also a bit of suede like at the bottom of the eyelets in black. And the leather also extends all the way around the heel counter. And on top of that, as the overlays, it is this TPU plastic caging. Now, like the Jordan 4, it gets rid of that netting, but no netting. And the eyelets at the top, slightly different as well. It's not that multi-lace, multi-hole system that you see on the Jordan 4. And then also behind this overlay is mesh. So quite a few different materials on this shoe. Very subtly you see 4 holes there, but it doesn't actually provide much ventilation because behind it is that mesh layer. So yeah, maybe just a design choice there. With a little Jumpman on the back as well as Nike Air. So you get both types of booty branding, Nike Air and Jumpman. And this booty obviously mimics the Jordan 4 with that little heel tab. Doesn't actually extend past the ankles though, unlike the Jordan 4s. And in terms of the design of the TPU, it is crisscrossed. So it's not like plain or flat. Don't love that. I kind of wish it was just plain. Just a flat design all around. But very subtle, don't really notice it until you're up close. And then moving up the tongue, you have another suede patch that has Jumpman Flight on that. The Flight concept originated on the Jordan 4, but unlike the Jordan 4, it doesn't have that upside down Air Jordan tag behind the tongue. So around this patch, you have that same mesh material, and around that, so the tongue itself, it's actually that kind of almost chenille material that you also find on the ankle collar as well. And I'll get to more on sizing and comfort later, but this tongue is very padded and it extends all the way down, and that does affect sizing. And then in terms of laces, it comes with these kind of thick black laces. Also comes with one extra set of laces, slightly thinner, grayish, almost got a tinge of green. Out of the two, I think I still prefer the black laces. I think it just goes better with the shoe. Kind of like the thickness of the black laces, though undoing it from the shoe is like an absolute pain, just getting it through the eyelets. Absolute pain. And the shoe, just like the Jordan 4s, comes with a polyurethane midsole. Of course, a visible air unit on the heel. Now I believe this actually does remove the forefoot air unit just like the SB Jordan 4s. And just like the Jordan 4, this rubber outsole, this multi-directional herringbone, one of the best outsoles ever, has a Jumpman in the middle of this cutout, not Nike, which makes sense because it's not like an OG colorway, it's not an original Jordan 4. But it's kind of odd because on the booty they went with Nike Air just like OG colorways, but it also has a Jumpman, so thought maybe they would have both branding on the outsole, but no. Just a Jumpman on the outsole. Now I'm having trouble removing the insole from this shoe. It's just glued super tight, but most likely it is a Dreamcell insole. So not like the best, but not like absolute garbage as well. In the box of this shoe, a green Jumpman with a Flight logo. Again, that is from the Jordan 4 with paper that has 23 all over. And you see this little bike logo. I'm not sure if this shoe is specifically made for biking, but this makes sense. Nigel Sylvester is debuting the shoe and he plays a big part. And in terms of sizing comfort, I'm a wide and flat footer. For this shoe, I went true to size. For recent Jordan 4s, I go true to size also. I feel like the recent retros of Jordan 4s doesn't give as much a pain on that toe area, that pinky toe area that a lot of people have complained about. So I feel like past retros maybe have run a bit small. Recent retros, they've kind of corrected it. So this shoe, I went true to size. And I will say, there's a lot of padding inside the shoe. There's just a ton. It's around the ankle collar, very thick. And this tongue, the padded tongue, actually extends all the way down, so that makes it more padded. It did feel pretty tight on my wide toe box over here. So if you don't have wide feet, I do recommend going true to size. If you have wide feet, maybe just consider going true to size and wearing very thin socks, take out the insole, or maybe go up half a size, wear it a bit loose. Either way, just keep this in mind. It is very snug inside, very padded. Now, unlike a lot of Jordan 4s that is pretty notorious for being pretty uncomfortable, it is pretty stiff, pretty boxy. This is actually a pretty comfortable shoe. Actually fits and feels more like a Jordan 3 maybe than like an uncomfortable and stiff Jordan 4. Unless you're like the SB Pine Greens or the Bread Reimagined. Those are pretty comfortable for Jordan 4 standards. Cushioning itself relatively flat to the ground compared to modern day shoes, but old technology, kind of expected, and I don't really mind like a lower profile feel. And that brings the total sole score of the Air Jordan 4 RM, light bone and black, to 30 out of 40. A pretty good score compared to other general releases. Now first, it is colorway. I think this is a very simple but very clean colorway. As a black sneaker lover, yeah, this is pretty delicious. Not like the best, doesn't trigger like all my sneaker hormones, but this is nice. I think white would have looked pretty good with the black as well, but this very subtle light bone, it really works. No random colors. Ooh, this is nice. And in terms of the materials, maybe a bit of complaint here. I don't love the leather on this shoe. Very thin as well on the toe box. The suede is decent, probably what you would expect from Jordan brand, but it's not like plush and like velvety. And in terms of comfort, a pleasant surprise if you can get your sizing correct. Again, I remind you, very, very snug shoe inside, but if you can get the sizing correct, that cushioning inside feels so nice. If you've had bad experiences with Jordan 4s, and many people have, don't expect the same. This is a comfortable shoe. Cushioning, like under the foot, feels kind of similar, but everything else in terms of the stiffness that you might expect from a Jordan 4, this doesn't have. Get the fit right and you're gonna enjoy these on feet. And in terms of the versatility, new silhouette, and I think it's very wearable. It is very, very wearable. If you're just looking at it objectively in terms of wearability compared to a Jordan 4, obviously borrowing the DNA of a Jordan 4, so it's not surprising, but I think it's equal, just objectively. This is a very versatile looking silhouette. A lot of times for Jordan 4s, from a bird's eye view, if you have wide feet like me, can look a bit fat, can look a bit chunky with a bit of spillover. This shoe, I did not experience the same thing from a bird's eye view. So that's a good, pleasant surprise. And in terms of the wearability of the colorway, majority black with a very subtle light bone. Doesn't really get much wearable in terms of colors for this. I think a white base sneaker may be slightly more wearable, but a black base is very wearable as well. I think this is a super versatile shoe. Now, takedown models are often laughed at or looked down on from a lot of people, which I think is silly, because if you look at different shoes in a vacuum, you don't compare it to the bigger brother or bigger sister of a takedown model. A lot of them can look pretty nice, and it's also an affordable option for a lot of people that don't have as much disposable income. And objectively, or probably subjectively, because it's my opinion, when I look at this shoe, I think honestly, this is super nice. It looks very nice. It's even better on feet. Doesn't mean you prefer this over the Jordan 4, but just as a shoe, like on the shelf, I think this is a good looking shoe. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Sole Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Air Jordan 4 RM. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.